is. Hey, good morning and welcome to the Stokastic.com NFL Strategy Show. Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful morning. Coming off a little doubleheader to open up the NBA season, double overtime. I watched that game. See, with basketball for me, though, I'm not watching. Typically, you're not catching me getting the first few quarters of that. It's like, oh, close game in the fourth. Let me tune in. Did that, and then watched both overtime periods as well. Ended up being a great game, but yeah, you're seldom going to find me tuning in for the first quarter of any basketball game. But it was a good one, and two good ones. I mean, ended up being high scoring. I think on overtime it was like super low going into overtime, like 102 to 102 or something. And then you ended up having a good one, but you got a 12-gamer today. I mention all of that because I assume many of you guys are coming over from watching the strategy show for tonight's 12-gamer with Josh Engelman, and now settling in for some NFL information. I know it's midweek, but look, this is where the money's won. We figure things out so when we come into Sunday, we are in good shape. See, you got other people that come in Sunday completely blind, which can work if you're running the Sims, but I always want to know what I'm in for every single week, basketball or not. So glad to have you guys with us. I'm Dave Loughran. That's Greg Ehrenberg getting his NBA stuff ready for today as well. What's up, man?
Yeah, it was a pretty fun start to the NBA season. Probably the most tired I've ever seen players reasonably during an NBA game. Where once you got to double overtime, it was pretty clear guys were kind of walking a little bit up and down the court. Very short, fatigued-looking jump shots, but that's what'll happen when game one of the season guys are all of a sudden playing 49 minutes in a game. When I think the most likely intention of both the Rockets and the Thunder last night was probably to keep a lot of their starters at like 30 to 32 minutes, but that goes out the window and the game goes to double overtime. You had Amen Thompson cramping last night. He wasn't able to finish the game, which, yeah, I mean, it's not to say the guys are out of shape. They were just not on game one of the NBA season, ready to be playing a 48 minutes in a double overtime game.
For sure. No surprise you had a bunch of foul outs too. Like Durant clearly looked tired towards the end. That foul out might have been a get me out of here. But no, I mean, you had Hartenstein foul out, Holmgren foul out early. Man, that dude is rail thin. If you thought Kevin Durant was there, it's just amazing. I'll never forget when Kevin Durant swapped jerseys. I forget what player it was, and it was on TNT, and it's inside the NBA, and Charles is like, "What is that? A cadaver?" One of the best lines ever. When Chuck used to throw that stuff out there. But anyway, let's get into it. Happy to have you guys here. And RJ, appreciate you. Great show. Lots of valuable info. Definitely appreciate you guys. Appreciate you too, man. If you guys don't mind, take a single second this morning. Atone for your sins. Hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. All of it's free. It goes a long way. And we appreciate you guys for all of that in advance. Now, we're going into this one, Greg. I got to set the table a little bit here. Mm-hmm. We're going into this one with the assumption that Lamar Jackson plays. Last I looked, they are still 6.5 point favorites. See, good thing we're not on ESPN. Still 6.5 point home favorites. So there's that. A few other spots like Nico Collins. Did this guy end up playing? Hard to say. My guess is no. They're playing on a short week. He's in concussion protocol, right? You're missing an additional day. So we'll see how that plays out. Christian Kirk and a few others. Now, as far as like the Washington Commanders go, with McLaurin and Daniels and Debo, that's Monday night in Kansas City. Not a big deal. But there are some spots here, Tampa Bay as well, that we're going to have to pay pretty close attention to. And we'll get a lot more clarification over the latter half of the week when we start getting real practice reports.
Yeah, and some of the things, like I agree with you on Nico Collins. I think it's super unlikely he plays. This is actually something, we haven't had too many concussion issues this year. There's been a lot of injuries, but I hadn't really thought about it.
Harrison.
There's been fairly few concussions. And something that you and I were talking about a lot on this show last year for the Wednesday show was guys who got concussed on Sunday were pretty unlikely to end up playing the next week. And this is one of those same situations with Nico Collins where it took halfway until the season until he had a prominent one. But yeah, I don't think Nico Collins ends up playing.
Neither do I. We'll see, though. But for now, the reason I mentioned that, we do have him projected out. So, yeah, any other Any other relevant injury spots to you that we should be paying? I guess Michael Penix Jr., right? I mean, if he doesn't play, you're going to have Kirk Cousins. But the great thing about that is you can kind of use one another as a proxy for each other. Like they're $500 separate. They're both in the 4K range. And I don't really know how big of the difference is one way or another against Miami anyway.
Yeah, and then I mean the other thing for I guess just because of the price points, let me see. What's the salaries that we're looking at here? Yeah, I was going to say that I'm not massively interested in Penix as an option, even if he plays, but at $4,900 against the Dolphins, I guess it would hard to not consider that to some extent. We do have him project for 4% ownership on the first run here. Penix has been oddly healthy throughout his NFL career, considering he suffered significant injuries every single season that he was in college football. So we'll see what ends up happening there. But yeah, I guess at a sub 5K price point, we kind of have to take him seriously as an option.
I think you do. You don't have to love it, but you at least have to consider it. And then we don't know who's starting between Fields and Tyrod Taylor. Not sure we want to go back to the well on that one, Greg. But
it's Taylor. It's Taylor. Did you see what Woody Johnson said yesterday?
No.
So Woody Johnson, who's the owner of the Jets, he was asked about the job security for Aaron Glenn, and he threw Justin Fields under the bus in a way I have never seen a coach or owner do it. Like, you should look it up. It was so entertaining to me. He basically said that it doesn't matter what Aaron Glenn's doing. When you have a quarterback as bad as Justin Fields, it is not possible to win football games. He said that Fields has been so bad that he gives Aaron Glenn a pass for everything that's happened. And he said that with a change at quarterback, he does think, kind of paraphrasing here, but he said with the change at quarterback, he thinks things could be different.
There you go. It's hard when you have a quarterback with the rating that we've got. He has the ability, but something's not jiving. If you look at any head coach with a quarterback like that, you're going to see similar results across the league. You have to play consistently in that position, and that's what we got to try to do for the remainder of the season. I mean, sure, but that's also kind of bullshit. Like, if you look at the pressure rate, Justin Fields has been pressured over 50% of his dropbacks this season. I'm not saying he's been good, right? But like, if you're pressuring him and he doesn't have, I don't know, man. I also think that Aaron Glenn has not done a good job. So that's kind of wild to me. This team has had so many games where they like the self-inflicted wounds on offense that have nothing to do with the quarterback, right? Like offensive penalties galore, not being able to line up on the line of scrimmage, unlimited pre-snap penalties. To me, yeah, Justin Fields absolutely deserves some of the blame. I mean, without question, he's had some terrible games and he's not having a good season. But to act like Aaron Glenn has been good at the helm is also insane.
Absolutely. I'm more saying just in terms of, you said we're not sure who's going to start between Taylor or
For
Fields.
sure.
I see that quote from the owner, and I would be floored if Fields starts again after that, especially because he gave Aaron Glenn a get-out-of-free jail card, where Aaron Glenn now, he's like, oh, cool. My boss thinks this isn't my fault. He thinks it's the quarterback's fault. Let's change the quarterback, because if he does not make the change at quarterback and they lose again, then Woody Johnson's going to be like, oh, this guy's a real moron. I think, like, we all agree here internally this quarterback sucks, and he's still playing him. So with that in mind, I would be stunned if Fields is starting quarterback for the Jets.
I don't know. I'd keep playing him. So, you know, the whole thing where it's like, stay quiet and stay quiet and I'm paraphrasing, but it's like, and they assume you're an idiot, or open your mouth and remove all doubt. Someone can give me the exact quote there. It's not coming to me. Here's my point, Greg. If you go ahead and you play Tyrod Taylor and Tyrod Taylor is as bad as Justin Fields, now is it like, oh, maybe Aaron Glenn is terrible? If you just keep playing Justin Fields, you can be like, hey, it's not my fault. It's him.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be Taylor at quarterback, though. I'm very, very certain of that.
All right. Would you play him against Cincy?
Let's see. I didn't really check to see who we have projected to start at quarterback in our data. We did go with Taylor. Yeah, I actually would. At $4,500, we have him projected for 15 fantasy points. Taylor has rushing upside. I don't think he's wildly different from Justin Fields as far as an archetype of a quarterback. He's certainly not quite containing the same rushing upside, but $4,500 against the Bengals, not in a massive way, but I could see Taylor putting up a game like Marcus Mariota did when he was super cheap and started a few weeks ago. And you get a scenario where, yeah, I would be willing to play a naked Tyrod Taylor against the Bengals, save a lot of salary, and maybe you hit on some of the high-end guys all hitting on a slate. But yeah, $4,500 with rushing upside against a defense like the Bengals, I think Taylor's in play.
I don't think it's crazy. You ready to build some lineups out?
Let's do it.
Let's go. And yes, Jake, you were very close. You forgot the word thought. But yeah, it's better to be thoughtful and remain silent than to open one's mouth and remove all doubt. That's what I was going for there. So Aaron Glenn, let them think you're a fool. Keep Justin Fields in there. But I think you're probably right on this one. I mean, it's gotten to the point where this team is 0-7, and there's no light at the end of the tunnel.
No.
Anyway, let's get into this one. So a lot of good options this week at quarterback, but I also think you could go cheap if you want. We'll see what Michael Penix Jr.'s status is. Obviously, Bijan Johnson is going to be the popular option there for sure. You have, I don't know, if you decide to go to Fields or Tyrod Taylor, not sure I want to do it this week. You have Flacco against the Jets. Again, that's one of those situations where does Flacco need to light it up and throw for the same volume or even close to what we saw last week? Joe Flacco is the type of guy, I'm telling you guys right now, like when everybody jumps on, it ends up going bad, very poorly. Now, I will shout us out last week because we had a collab parlay over on Tails, free. It's always free on Tails. If you're not there yet, guys, download the app or go to tails.bet. Follow us. Check out all of the new features we've got, the leaderboard, turn on notifications, whatever you want to do. I think you will love it. And if you're already in there, let us know in chat if you are loving it, because I think a lot of people are. But you guys are our people, right? On the DFS side. The betting world is very much like you got some people that are super loyal, but also people that just want to come in and tell you how bad you are at the first sign of a bad bet or a losing bet. If you have a second, go rate the podcast or rate the app for us, the Tails app. If you just type Tails into the Apple Store, if you have an iPhone, and it'll pop up, leave a rating and a review for us. Really, really, really helpful. So I appreciate that in advance if you don't mind doing that. But shout out, pat ourselves on the back because we had the 3-leg Bengals plus 5.5, Higgins over receiving and Flacco over passing in that game that got us there. It's just with Flacco in a spot like this, it seems so obvious. And I think people will stack him this week. I don't know how I feel about it. Like I may just go overweight to Chase Brown at 5,400.
Chase Brown finally had a decent game last week too. So Chase Brown, you mentioned him being 5,400. Another thing too, there was kind of an assumption the Jets defense was going to be good this year because that's something that had been, at least until last year, something that had been pretty stable about the Jets. That whole team is a complete train wreck. This matchup is not all that daunting for Chase Brown. He's priced all the way down at 5,400 at this point. At least in our initial ownership projections, he's only single digit owned. At the very least, with Flacco at quarterback, I think they brought some stability to this team. Doesn't mean he's going to replicate what he did last week. And like you just mentioned, going back and chasing the points with a guy like Joe Flacco, time and time again, these kinds of situations do not work out over time. But this is clearly a better situation for Chase Brown, for T. Higgins, for Jamar Chase, than it was a couple of weeks ago because Jake Browning was complete dog shit. He had been competent as a backup in previous years. I don't know what the hell happened this year. He turned into Nathan Peterman. But I think that Chase Brown at $5,400, we'll see if this ownership ends up holding. I agree with you. I think he's a pretty good buy low.
Me too. Also, Sauce Gardner's out for the Jets as well. So I think, he's not out. He's in concussion protocol. I just think you really may see people pile on to the Jets this week. And yeah, to the Bengals stacks this week. And if that's the case, Chase Brown looks interesting to me. I like that you plugged him in here. 5,400. To me, he's the best cheap running back on the slate. Where do you want to stack? I'm happy to follow your lead on this first lineup and see what we can get to. I have a few guys in mind, but we got plenty of time to build some lineups out today.
Yeah. All right. Where do we actually want to start with a stack? So we'll begin with Chase Brown being plugged in here. I actually kind of want to try a naked Tyrod stack, and then we'll just kind of go stars and scrubs to begin. So we'll go Tyrod. We could run it back with Chase Brown, but I don't even feel all that inclined to stack somebody with Taylor. I just kind of want to build around some of our highest projected players after we plug in some of these lower owned guys that you and I like.
More than willing to get weird with you, man. Let's do it. So you've got, but also do me a favor and just go and plug in the Ravens defense.
Sure. Yeah, let's go to defense. Let's plug in the Ravens. All right, so we've got Tyrod Taylor, Chase Brown. We've got the Ravens defense. Now let's just look at some of the overall highest projected players that we have on the slate. So,
yeah, by the way,
Greg,
running back is insane this week up top. Like you have Taylor, Bijan, and McCaffrey. All three price points are jacked up, but Bijan has the Dolphins. McCaffrey has a tough matchup, but the workload's insane. And Jonathan Taylor is exorbitantly priced, but he's a 14-point favorite against Tennessee, and he has 3 touchdowns in 3 of his last 5 games. So it's jam-packed up top with that trio of backs.
Yeah, so just looking at all 3 of them, and we've got, what do we have? We've got $6,200 in average salary remaining. I do think we probably want to plug in 2 of the expensive running backs into this lineup. Let's see. Taylor, we've got for 26, but these are the highest projections we've seen on running backs in our data the entire season. Taylor at 26 fantasy points, Bijan at 24.5, and then you've got Christian McCaffrey about 23.5. Let's for now just lean on the 2 highest projected ones in Taylor and then also in Bijan, and that would still give us pretty decent. We still got 47.50 left for the tight end. And
let's see if we can make it. Let's see if we can make it work. Hey, what do we have Kate Otten projected at? If we're obviously Mike Evans is out, I think we're also projecting Godwin out right now too. 9.8. What do we have Ibuka at?
See what we've got. Ibuka at. I still have this filter turned on. All right, so let's see what we have for Ibuka. We have him for 16 fantasy points. At 7K, he's projected for 27% ownership.
Okay. Let's try to plug a cheaper tight end in then. Let's go to value at tight end and see what that looks like. I think that's probably a good place to start. Also, Greg plugged in Tyrod Taylor. I'm telling you right now, you don't have to like Tyrod Taylor, but this lineup right here is going to be a perfect kind of experiment to see if we can jam 2 expensive running backs. So if you want to say, I'd rather have, Penix, or maybe it's Cousins or Rattler, or some of those cheap guys, or even like a low 5K quarterback, just think of them as the proxy to Tyrod Taylor in a spot like this, because I haven't tried building a lineup out yet with these 2 expensive running backs. And we, Greg, have not seen any running backs. We haven't seen 3 running backs at this price point all season long.
Yeah, and looking through tight ends, there's a lot of good-looking cheap tight ends for this slate. Probably wouldn't necessarily fit for this lineup, but Kittle's only $4,500. I know he wasn't super involved in the passing game last week. He was mostly a run blocker, but I like the upside of Kittle at $4,500. But on the cheaper end, we've got Isaiah Likely at $2,600 and Dalton Schultz at $3,300. He had a really big receiving game on Monday Night Football without Nico Collins. I think Dalton Schultz looks like a really good cheaper tight end option as well.
Let's go Schultz.
Let's look at this. 5,200 per position left.
It's actually not bad. And mind you, if Nico is out, if Kirk remains out, then you can get to like a Jalen Noel, who's $3,500. He had a nice game in a tough matchup against Seattle. There may be opportunities. They're going to open up some cheap wide receivers as well, but we don't need to go dirt cheap. I think one guy I would like to plug in here. You know what? Yeah, let's do it. Let's go Courtland Sutton.
Okay. Sutton. Was he not one of the quite best points per dollar options for us? He's not on the cheaper end, but $6,200, only 9% owned. Obviously, that matchup against Dallas, where I can't remember a slate that Dallas is on, a main slate that you and I did not build lineups where we were just targeting pass catchers against Dallas.
Yeah, right. I'm a little surprised we only have him at 14, but once props come out, maybe that looks different. I do like the value in Zay Flowers this week, Greg. I wouldn't even mind plugging Flowers in as well. Like if we plug Flowers
in, at 5,400, he is going to look obviously significantly better in the event that Lamar Jackson comes back, because he's still priced as if Jackson's out at 5,400.
Oh, for what it's worth, I don't want to play Zay Flowers if Lamar's out, but in the event that he's in, yes. Another thing you can do here too, not this specific lineup, we'll do it in the next one, but there are some other, like Derrick Henry's 6K against Chicago. That price is insane. If Lamar plays, Dobbins is 5,900. There are some good options in that mid-range for running back that if we don't want to go both of the top tier, two of the three top tier guys there, we can make that work as well. All right. So what do we want? Who's our best option? Oh, is it Kirk? That just sucks. We'd have to go Kirk and Schultz, but
at their price points, it's not the end of the world, assuming Nico Collins is out. Kirk is 4K, Schultz is $3,400. It's pretty viable to think that you could get, like 15 fantasy points out of each of them or something like that.
Real quick before you run this, what's the projection difference between Otten and Schultz? Because if it's similar enough, I'm pretty sure they're $100 separated. Yeah, why don't we just throw Otten in here? I mean, they're basically the same projection. I'm okay with either, but doubles on Houston without the quarterback, knowing they don't have a run game and Stroud doesn't move a lot. I don't know. And they can't block pass block. You think it'll be positive?
Makes sense to me. Makes sense. I think this is going to come out. Actually, no clue how this is going to come out.
81. Way off. Still positive, though. So let's see what happens, Greg, if we take out Jonathan Taylor. This should be very fun.
Okay.
If this works, I'm going to be pretty stoked. Put in Derrick Henry. All right, now put in Lamar Jackson.
Oh, I see.
We're going to have 1,200 left over after Lamar. So you tell me where you want to upgrade after that. You could get to Emeka Ibuka at 7K. You could upgrade to Kittle. I don't know if that's the play, but I don't hate it. You can upgrade Kirk to, I don't know if there's any great upgrades on Kirk. And plus, we like him a lot there at that price point. Probably want to keep him.
We could take Chase Brown out and move Bijan from the flex to the running back spot and see what's available there now.
Sure.
Let's see, what do we have at the flex now? Best projected player is Scattaboo against the do I have it sorted?
No, we can get to Drake London. Rashad White. There we go. Perfect.
Lamar, Bijan, Henry, Sutton, Flowers, Kirk, Otten, Rashad White, Ravens defense. Let's see how this comes out. I think this will sim well. By the way, also, just kind of interest, something that I don't even do in-season best ball drafts. I was telling you about them the other day. I found it very interesting to see week to week how players change, and pretty similar, 42% sim ROI. And there are some players now who are getting picked either in the first round or in the second round that you would not have expected at the start of the year where some of these guys are. The reason being, Cam Scattaboo, now a second round best ball pick, Loughy.
That's crazy to me, but I mean, look, I'm fine with it. I have so much Cam Scatterboo in best ball, but also I would not. I'd put him like 4th round, but I guess I understand it. Can you?
The other thing too, running back.
Round. Wow.
So running back, like we were just talking about some of the high end running backs, it is so top heavy at running back. There's such a steep drop off after the first handful of running backs.
Yeah, that makes sense too, because a lot of them just haven't been good. Clayton, great call. I was going to say the same thing. Let's see if we swap out Sutton for AJ Brown or one of the other guys in that range. We're going to have 6,400, so you could actually go with Drake London here, which would be very interesting. You could go. Let's see. Yeah, London. Yeah, let's go Drake London. I don't care if it's with Bijan.
We've got the rare double running back wide receiver stack. We've got Derrick Henry with Zay Flowers, and we have Drake London with Bijan Robinson.
Yep. The only reason I don't hate it here is because if Baltimore comes back and they just remember we were talking about the odds 2 weeks ago where they were 1-4 and they were still minus money to win the division, still slightly favored. If they come out and you see one of those 40-point Baltimore games that we've been accustomed to seeing over the years, Lamar can easily get there with Flowers and with Henry. There's no doubt about it. All right, how do we make this lineup better? I think there's got to be a way. I mean, maybe it's just pulling Derrick Henry from it, and the Sims don't love the correlation there with a non-pass catching running back. There absolutely has to be a way where there has to be a way, right? Where we can get this up north of 100.
Yeah,
Pull
I think
Henry
if we
out for a
took,
second.
we might. I think maybe if we took Henry, let's try taking a lot of these. Let's just go with the base stack where let's just go Lamar, Flowers. Do you want to do? What if we do likely a tight end instead of Henry? So we still get a Lamar double stack. We do with likely a tight end.
Go for it.
So I think we've likely projected pretty well.
Just pull everybody else out then, yeah. And put it on 5%.
All right, what shows up here now? Lamar, Breece Hall, Rashad White, Drake London still in the lineup, Christian Kirk. It's funny, we do still have a lot of the same players.
So we still have London, we still have White, we still have Kirk. Taylor swapped over Bijan. Who's our defense?
Still ended up being the Ravens, and 137 sim ROI now.
Okay. The Breece Hall spot scares me a little bit, man. Isaiah Davis split snaps with Breece last week. They keep talking about trades. They're 0-7. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to keep giving Breece a big workload. I'm genuinely at the point where I'm a little worried about that.
Could be. It is also worth noting he got hurt briefly last game, which that might have played a factor. We'll see if he pops up on the injury report or something like that. But Breece Hall was popular in DFS. I played a good amount of him. I think I remember you saying you got a good amount of him as well. It was it wasn't just that it was a poor game for him, it also just wasn't the workload we were expecting. But I don't know how much that was influenced by him getting banged up.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say because he just wasn't very good either. Let's try. Yeah, you know what? I like that idea. Ram. Let's try a Baker stack. Perfectly fine with that. You could go Abuka and then whoever else you want. Is it Regkel 85? What about 9% Barkley? I am interested in Barkley this week, but my interest is waning by the week. I've got to tell you. They got to figure something out and get this guy going. They haven't been able to yet.
Even the offense was fantastic last week, and they still weren't able to run the football at all. Barkley last year, I think I remember looking this up. I think Barkley had 5 games all of last year where he was under 100 rushing yards. Let me see, is that? And this year, his season high is 88. He's been over 60 yards once. And this is where a year ago, you could just lock in Barkley almost every single week, 150 all-purpose yards and a touchdown. Every week you're getting that from Barkley. He hasn't even sniffed that on his best game this season.
No, it's sad, man. It's sad. I don't know. The offense was good because the deep ball worked. That's what it was. You know, it was just a deep shot to Brown early on, a deep shot, 2 deep shots to Devonta, another deep shot to Brown on 4th down. That's where the bread was buttered in that game. But let's try Baker with Ibuka, and then you could go White or Otten. I'm really not opposed to either. You want to go Tez, fine. Not a big fan of Sterling Shepard this week, but plug Baker Mayfield in with Emeka Ibuka. And then, let's see, Shepard is a Tez 9.9. That's not bad. I would still rather go Otten here, though, Greg, because the tight end position is never as deep as wide receiver. So instead of burning another wide receiver spot, let's throw Otten in and see what happens. And quite frankly, if we were to optimize this, my guess is we would also get Rachaad White.
All right, so we could just plug in Rachaad White here as well. Considering what what have the targets been like for Rachaad White?
Not great.
He did have 6 targets last week. 3, 4, 5.
But they also played from behind for literally the entirety of that game.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole game they played from behind. How many did he have the week before?
So the last 4 games, he's had 6, 3, 4, and 5 targets. It's not bad.
It's not terrible, no. All right. Go ahead and plug. See, I feel like the Sims are going to want to jam. I wonder what the difference between like Bijan and Jonathan Taylor is. Because when we just optimized that the last time, what happened was we got Taylor over Bijan Robinson. So go ahead and plug in Bijan Robinson at running back and see what happens.
All right, let's go to all the games again. We'll plug in Bijan at running back and Mayfield White, Bijan, and Ibuka.
My guess is with the way these guys up top are projected is that there's just no way we can build positively simmed lineups with none of the big 3. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm happy to try one. I think it's going to be tough to get positively simmed lineups if we have none of those top running backs in there.
All right, so Mayfield White, what do we have for? I'm just going to go to. All right, so after the Ravens defense is in, we've got 46-5. Who else did you say you wanted to plug in?
No, that's it. So
just the Ravens? I thought there was somebody else you mentioned too.
I mean, we can try. I didn't even mention the Ravens, but we can do Olave too. How does he project this week?
$5,800. He's finally come up a little bit in salary, but I think he's got like the same projection and ownership projection every single week. Every week it's Olave, mid to high teens in terms of ownership projection, and then his fantasy point projection is right around 15. I think it's the same every slate.
Yeah, we don't need to run it back with him. Let's optimize this and see how it comes out.
Leave it at 5%?
Yeah. All right, Hall is back in there.
$500 left on the table.
I think Hall will come down throughout the week. I'm just convinced that he will. Likely's back in there. Kirk, Ibuka, Flowers. Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't love the Breece Hall spot this week.
Do we have props out for him?
There's no way. I haven't looked, but I'm pretty confident we're not going to have props out on Breece Hall yet.
All right.
Especially when they haven't even announced a quarterback.
Yeah, a lot of times we don't have props. A lot of things are kind of based on what some of his props were last week. So with that in mind, yeah, I don't unless his props end up being, like 40 receiving yards and like 65 rushing yards or anything like that. I agree with you. We're going to see this come down because what you need at a 17 fantasy point projection is, like half a touchdown, a bunch of rushing yards, a handful of receiving yards, and like 3-4 receptions. So yeah, I think Breece Hall probably comes down like a fantasy point and a half or 2 fantasy points or so.
I could see the same thing. Bijan, there actually are props up on DraftKings, FanDuel, and Caesars for a lot of these guys, which is usually they've been up way late this season. Bijan is at 89.5. Taylor is how is there not one on Taylor? That's surprising. Taylor doesn't have one yet.
We've seen more of that this year. I could just be remembering incorrectly, but I thought we typically had props up going into this show last year.
That's what I'm saying, is that this year we don't have them, a lot of them until even Thursday morning.
Yeah, I think books were probably getting beat pretty bad releasing some of those early props, and everybody's afraid to be the first one to push out props. I wouldn't be surprised too if things like exchanges being available allows books to wait to put out props and see how the exchanges settle, and then they base some of the lines that they post based on that. But yeah, books are like 1-2 days later with putting props up now.
You know which book has been first to the market on props every week? Like which rec book this year? BetMGM. Every single week, BetMGM is first on every single player prop, which is pretty interesting for sure. And they've been pretty, like, I don't know if it's been, I haven't like back tested it, but when the other books come online and and you start seeing these props on the board for other books, they've been right in line with BetMGM, surprisingly. So there is that. But all right, so we didn't run this yet, right? Let's do it. And if you wanted to, Greg, we could swap out Hall just to see how it looks. Personally, if I were to swap out Hall, I mean, what is he? How much is he? 61? He's 60.
He is
61. So
61.
We have 500. That would give us 66.
We've got Rashad. So it could be anybody 66. Let's see. Who else do we have?
Yeah, I say we take him out and see what happens.
We could go Drake London instead.
Yeah, let's go London.
Yeah, we just have to move Rachaad White to the running back spot. And then we can move London into the flex. And if I remember correctly, we do have Bijan in this lineup, but not the end of the world to me.
It's not. Also, if you guys wanted to use McCaffrey over Bijan, you could zero this lineup out with McCaffrey being $200 more expensive than Bijan here. So there's that. I think it should sim out okay. I mean, we're really living in this 40% range. It's odd. Yeah, what's that?
We had the one lineup with like 120, and then every other one I think has been 38 to 41.
I know. But okay, try something for me here. Take Bijan out, put in Jonathan Taylor, and then we're gonna have to bring someone out. I want to see the difference right now that Taylor's making in these sims without making significant swaps. So we're down five. We need $500 freed up somewhere. Where can we do that? I mean, can we just do it at defense? Is there a cheap? That's what we should do. We should just go to like Cowboys. What's the best defense we can get to that's cheap where it doesn't really matter? Play the Jets defense.
Yep. We don't have any Cincinnati in this lineup.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah. Play the Jets D and just see what happens here. We're not changing all that much. But does Jonathan Taylor make a big difference? That's what I want to know. All right. What was it? 42 before or something? So nothing crazy.
Yeah. 38 to 59, 60.
Hey, how long does the NBA sale run? The 20% off?
The 20% off is going to run until next week. So season started on Tuesday. It's running until next Tuesday. The $1 sale is going to be ending today on Wednesday. So for people who are watching live, they could still take advantage of that offer. $1 for NBA access to any package you're choosing with the promo code SGA. That package, which if you guys are watching this closer to football on Sunday, there's a decent chance this deal will be over. But the deal, if you are watching this on Wednesday or Wednesday afternoon, it is $1 with the promo code SGA that gets you access to the Wednesday slate. And then whatever package that you select renews on Thursday. That's tomorrow. And then we have the OKC promo. And for the OKC promo, this is also going to be something that could apply to some of you guys who play NFL DFS, because not only could you get any NBA monthly package for 20% off with the promo code OKC, but also any all access package. So if you want to get NBA and NFL, 20% off with promo code OKC. And then, of course, that also encompasses MMA. There's a big pay-per-view card this weekend that's also going to encompass NASCAR. It encompasses PGA, all the sports that we support here with our Sims. 20% off an all-access monthly package with that promo code OKC. This is for the start of the NBA season.
Yeah, and two things here, guys. The links are included in the description, so you don't even need to use the promo code. Whichever one you want, it'll just auto-load it for you. But here's the other thing. If you guys are in a position where you're already an NFL sub and you don't want to be paying, you want to play NBA, but you don't want to be running concurrent payments on NBA and NFL, you can go and email us at support@stokastic.com and take 20% off of an all access. So you can upgrade from NFL to all access and still get the 20% discount. Ron will take care of you in chat. Keep that in mind, right? Instead of having to run two concurrent individual sports, you can get all access, and that's NBA, NFL, and every other sport that our tools support, which is essentially all of them, including the Sims for most of them as well. You can do that for 20% off when you upgrade. So last day for the $1 sale, link in the description for that. However, it's a huge 12-game slate with monster contests. And I was looking at the late contest too. It's still $50K up top. And then, of course, 20% off any NBA or all access monthly. So don't think you have to run them concurrent. You can always upgrade to core or max all access and take 20% off. Just email us, say, I want to upgrade, and we got you covered. All right, let's do a FanDuel lineup here. Should be an interesting FanDuel slate. Assuming FanDuel's back online, Greg, that was really something else, man. I couldn't get a single bet in on Monday on FanDuel.
So I don't know about you across the books you use, but there was the whole Amazon. I don't know exactly all the details of it. Basically, there was an entire web server crash.
AWS,
sportsbooks I used, the only one that was operating on Monday was DraftKings. FanDuel wasn't working. Hard Rock wasn't working. BetMGM wasn't working. Fanatics wasn't working. So I wasn't able to use any sportsbooks other than DraftKings on Monday.
Bet365 works for me. But,
okay.
Yeah, aside from that, yeah, the AWS, that was fun. It just goes to show you how fucked we all are if there's some type of like real outage, you know?
Yeah.
It's
we can't bet.
What's that?
We can't bet. That's the end of the world.
What's that?
Said if we can't bet, it's the end of the world. Yeah. That's the worst thing that can happen, and that's what happened.
Right. Yeah, or you have something like the Carrington event, that like insane geomagnetic storm that had that happen today, everything just gets wiped out. Like the whole grid goes down. That's always fun.
Not as bad as not being able to bet, though. That's the worst.
Well, you also wouldn't be able to bet. You would have nothing. So you would not have football. We'd have nothing. So yeah, let's
hope my brother had to travel for a work trip on Monday, and he had a 3 a.m. plane flight or 3:30 a.m. plane flight, super early in the morning. I forget the exact time, but his Uber got canceled at 2 a.m. or whatever time he was supposed to get picked up because of the AWS outage.
I believe it. Yeah. Everything went, and that's just one web service, like one web provider. And what happens if everything goes down? You won't be watching the strategy show on Wednesday morning. I'll tell you that much. But all right, we got FanDuel. let's do something quickly before we even build anything. Sort by value. Who's the best value on FanDuel this week?
Sure. So I'll go press create a new lineup. So we sort by value. It's typically going to be the quarterbacks that we see show up over on FanDuel as the top overall values. No surprise, Bo Nix at $7,800 against the Cowboys. He looks really good over on FanDuel. Let's go and look at the flex, though. So at flex, Jonathan Taylor, Ramondre Stevenson, because he's super cheap over on FanDuel. I guess it's never going to be Travion Henderson season for the Patriots at all, because it just seems Henderson's and also Stevenson hasn't fumbled like 2 games in a row or something like that, which is a miracle by his standards. So that makes me even more confident in him. But Stevenson just seems like the workhorse back in the backfield for New England. They have a matchup against the Browns, and he's only $6K. Let's see. So a lot of running backs.
Travion Henderson's snap count is actively going down as the season goes forward. Like his last 3 games, 50% snaps. That was the Buffalo game where Gibson got hurt and Stevenson fumbled. 50% of snaps for Henderson, then 30, and then 14 last week. You've now had Ramondre Stevenson play 72 and 75% of snaps over the last 2 games. Pass blocking is clearly a problem for Henderson, but it appears it goes beyond that right now. I mean, Vrabel, there must be something going on that we don't know about, because Stevenson, far and away the bell cow, which, by the way, I did tweet this back in like July and August, that Stevenson was being drafted, Greg, at like 130 on DraftKings, and Henderson was in the 40s before we ever seen the guy play. And you got a guy in Josh McDaniel and Vrabel who are like the old school style of coaches. Just, in hindsight, you have to be like, yeah, this isn't surprising. It's surprising to me that Henderson's workload is going down, no doubt. And I'm never going to pretend I predicted that. But from the jump, I'm looking at this going, how are we just considering Stevenson like a 12th round pick and Henderson is a late 3rd, early 4th? Insane. So, I didn't see it skewing this heavy. Stevenson's coming off an 18 rushing attempt game, though. That isn't to say I love him against the Cleveland run defense, but at that price, I do think he's actually viable.
Yeah, no, I mean, not only is he viable, he's one of the better plays on FanDuel at $6K. He's just underpriced considering what his role is. So I'll plug. That was weird. What the hell was that? Did you see that?
Wait, did you go to plug Stevenson in and then it reset and put Flacco in?
All right, let me try that again.
What happened? Yeah, what happened?
All right, I'm going to try. I have no clue. All right, I just reset it. Let's do this.
You tried to put Stevenson.
All right,
right?
That was one of the most bizarre bugs I will never be able to replicate that again. I'll let the devs know, but that was incredibly confusing and bizarre.
Did you go to put Stevenson in and then it just went weird and put Flacco in?
And I only have running backs filtered.
Now I saw that. That's super weird. Well, you don't need to replicate it. You can just go to this point and clip it and send it to the devs. There you go. Hey,
I mean, it might never happen again, though.
I don't know what that was. Before you get to this lineup, Jeff Williams with a super chat. Nick's Robinson. Okay, so he has a lineup. Yeah, we'll sim that after this one on DraftKings.
All right, so we've got Ramondre Stevenson in at running back. We are maybe this is a sign that we should be playing Joe Flacco this weekend. So Stevenson is one of the better points per dollar plays overall on FanDuel. Also on the cheaper end, you've got a Rashad White is $7,300. As far as the top wide receiver values, you've got Zay Flowers at $7,100. Drake London, $7,800. Chris Olave is still only $6,600 on FanDuel, so he's projecting out really well. But nothing outside of Stevenson that's showing up really good as a points per dollar play on the lower end of pricing.
Okay. Let's build our... You know what? I wanted to do Knicks, but Jeff Williams wants that on DraftKings. I mean, we can do it. The only question I have is, while Knicks profiles really well, how do the Knicks stacks profile right now? That's the kind of thing that sucks. It's like outside of Sutton, You know, Troy Franklin was targeted a decent amount last game. They had to throw a lot. They were down a ton of points, and he still was semi-underwhelming outside of that touchdown. You have Marvin Mims. You have a semi-involved Evan Ingram. This team kind of sucks to stack right now. I mean, I still think Sutton's clearly the guy, but besides him, it sucks.
Let's do it though. Also for FanDuel, because it's the half-point PPR. It's not like it's the end of the world if it's just the skinny stack. We could definitely go Bo Nix to Cortland Sutton and just have that be the stack against the Cowboys. I mean, the other thing too is even though Bo Nix is typically more rushing upside than throwing upside, that could be completely different against this Cowboys secondary. I mean, I know it was a lot because of garbage time, but even Justin Fields, who Woody Johnson thinks is apparently like the worst quarterback in NFL history, even he ended up having a really good fantasy game against the Dallas Cowboys defense.
It feels like everybody does, man. So, all right, that's fine. You want to just single it?
Yep, we could definitely single it. Bo Nix, Cortland Sutton. We got Stevenson in here as well. I want to put a Zay Flowers in.
Yeah, Flowers looks good. Go to running backs. I'm just trying to see how these guys.
Taylor's $10,200 over on FanDuel and still projects as our best points per dollar running back on the site.
Wait, sort by salary. Jeez. McCaffrey's 9,100.
10-2 for 10-2 for Taylor, 10,000 for Bijan, $9,100 for McCaffrey. Javonte Williams, $8,400. By the way, second round best ball pick now, Javonte Williams. Just bringing that up here as well. Wow. But yeah, I think FanDuel did a much better job of pricing the top end running backs compared to DraftKings. It's actual decision points.
I agree. I also like the fact that Barkley is so much cheaper than those guys as well. Like if you wanted to get off the beaten path and go to Barkley, you're saving over 2,000, like from Taylor to Barkley. At least I guess that's similar on DraftKings, but Barkley's only $1,000 less than Bijan on DraftKings, and it's tough to make that decision. I don't think we have to. I think we will probably try and plug one of those guys in and see if we can actually make it work. Let's see if we can make it work. Plug Taylor in here and see if it makes sense, Greg.
All right, so we'll go to Taylor at 10-2, and that gives us $5,300 for the rest of the spots. At defense, let's just see. What's a good points per dollar, cheap defense? There's the Falcons against the Dolphins. We got I'll just plug in the Falcons, $4,100 against the Dolphins. So that would give us $5,700 left for a wide receiver, tight end, and a flex spot.
Let's optimize it.
Nix, Stevenson, Rashad White, Flowers, Sutton, Olamide Zaccheaus, Mason Taylor at tight end, Jonathan Taylor, and the Falcons defense.
Oh, I hate it. I do not like that.
It's tough. If you want to spend up for the top running backs on FanDuel, this actually came out looking really highly sim ROI. You have to make some concessions if you want the top end running backs.
Yeah. Nesto says CMC, in my opinion, is the worst high-priced running back this week. Yeah, I think on the surface, most people are going to feel that way, Greg. But I don't know how true that is, only because it's a tough matchup against Houston. But if you have no Nico and that Houston offense struggles to move the football, which is entirely possible, and you have George Kittle back, who is an elite run-blocking tight end, and we saw his impact immediately at home against what has been a very good Falcons defense on Sunday night. There's definitely a possibility here that Christian McCaffrey goes under-owned to Taylor and Bijan. I don't know how under-owned. If you want to flip back to DraftKings, let's just try something with McCaffrey in there and see how big of a difference that makes. I don't know how under-owned he will be, honestly, but go to DraftKings, Greg. But I'm willing to try it out.
Let's where's that?
I mean, we've got him. Geez, we have him basically the same ownership as Bijan and Taylor. I didn't think that would be the case at a similar price point and more expensive than Bijan.
What was this lineup? Jeff Williams' lineup.
Yeah, go ahead.
Nick Robinson, Brown, Chase. Interesting. So you've got Chase Brown and Jamar Chase in the lineup. Sutton, Franklin, Schultz, Ravens defense. How do you think this will sim out?
Plug it in and we'll see. What I mean is once I can visualize it on the screen, I'll have a better answer for you.
I think Brown and Chase in the same lineup is going to be rough.
Yeah, Sutton, Wandale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, is that Waddle or Wandale?
Wandale Robinson.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure this isn't going to sim out well.
Not well, you said?
No.
Yeah, I don't think it will either. It's not even so much of the fact that you're throwing Chase Brown and Chase in to get and Jamar Chase in together, but it's Jamar and Bijan eat into so much that now you're getting to Wandale in a tough spot. Franklin projected for less than 8 fantasy points. I'm going to say like -16. Oh, okay. You're in the green, Jeff. 2.8. Not bad. What I'd like to do, Greg, before we get out of here is build one more Knicks lineup ourselves and see how that one comes out. That's what I would like to do. So if you're on board, we can wrap the show up with that. And probably also a good time to let you guys know that you can get the Sims for free. Many of you already know that, but in the event that you are unaware, you can grab it for free with the link in the description. And you can jump on as many months as you want simply by signing up with our sportsbook partners. So if that's something you haven't done yet, take advantage of that, man. Absolutely take advantage of it. Another big week in the streets. The Sims keep putting in work. I mean, look at this, right? This is from this week. Squirrel, this one made me happy, saying, shout out Loughy, been listening to your content since the Fantasy Insider days. That's like 2014. So 50K, first in the power sweep, first in the big quarter and dime for Purple Dough. Love this stuff, man. You see a lot of low stakes, a lot of high stakes, a lot of mid stakes stuff in here as well. That's why it's so valuable to jump on something like this, because you can literally grab a free month of the Sims Core and you can get it for $5 or $10, depending on what sportsbook you sign up for. That's all you have to do, right? So if you're like, man, I'd love to get these tools, I just don't currently have the bankroll or the funds to make it happen. Well, what about you just go in and do it this way, and you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. That link in the description, see that? Will bring you right there. Onyx is available in 40 plus states, right? Spend $10. You're getting the Sims, $39 value or something for free for the month. Caesars is $10. Some of these are $5. Pick'em sites for non-legal betting states. Every single one of these equals a free month of the Sims. So you could go and grab 4 of these. You're spending like anywhere from $25 to $40, and that's 4 months of the Sims. You could get 2 months of NBA, 2 months of NFL, simply by following these 4 steps in the site. That's it. Just follow those 4 steps. Take you a few minutes to get it done, and you are in business. Nothing further than that. Simplest way to get the tools for free. So make sure to do so if you haven't done. All right. Let's build out a Bo Nix lineup. Or rock our avatar and get the Sims for free if you finish top 3 in a field of 5,000 or more. Stokastic.com/HOF.
Do you want to build a new lineup, or do we want to try to improve the lineup that Jeff built to make it better?
Yeah, sure. Let's improve it.
I think we could do it pretty easily, to be honest. I think we just have to take Jamar Chase and Wan'Dale Robinson out and then re-optimize the lineup, and I think it will come out way better.
We could do that. I'd probably want to take Franklin out as well, but can you do me a favor? Check what Evan Ingram's projecting for first.
Yeah.
I would go to Evan Ingram there at tight end. If we want
got
to
him projected 1.5 lower than Dalton Schultz, and he's $800 more expensive.
Understood, but if you're playing Troy Franklin there, he's more expensive than Ingram and projects less than a point less than Ingram as well.
All right,
so we don't have
enough.
to put Ingram in. We could just go skinny with Sutton. That's fine with me too. However you want to play it, but I think Franklin is going to hurt this stack.
Yeah, let's try both. Let's do one with Ingram and Sutton, and then we'll do one without Ingram and just re-optimize. Achan, Kirk. What's interesting, I actually kind of like that trade-off. So we got Kirk, so it was we flipped Kirk and Schultz as the Houston guys, and then we also ended up getting to Ingram, and then we flipped Ingram and Troy Franklin.
Yeah, I don't hate that. There you go. There we go. Now try, you know what? Try one with, you're right. Let's try one with Schultz and Franklin. I do think it'll be worse because that Franklin ownership on a slate like this, I don't think it's going to get us there, but happy to try it. And for what it's worth, Jeff, you still got it into the positives. If there's a lineup that might be 15%, but I really like it, I'll still play it. I do that sometimes in the pre-contest sim. I'll go all the way down and find the lineup I like. As long as it's simming out positively and it's the type of build I'm looking for, I'll do it. No problem.
All right, let's see. So now we've got Nick, Bijan Robinson, Chase Brown, Drake London, Cortland Sutton, Troy Franklin, Dalton Schultz, Rashad White, Ravens defense. Let's see how this comes out.
What do you
Once
think?
again, still, it's pretty close to Jeff's initial lineup. We kept the core of it together. We just swapped out a few guys.
I'm going to say like 20. Yeah, close. I really right. think it's that Franklin projection.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to look at before we say goodbye for the day?
No, that's good by me. Data, we're going to be doing another show, Loughy and I, as you guys know, on Friday, where we'll have some updated injury situations. The projections will be updated a little bit more as more props come out. But other than that, follow us on Tails, tails.bet. Loughy said it at the top. One thing you guys could do to help support Tails and help us grow it, to make it a better platform for you guys, if you're over there and you're enjoying it, leave us a nice 5-star review. That helps the app get promoted to more people. And then that is going to help us bring more people into it. Then we can make it more profitable. We could add more features to it. So do us a favor. If you're enjoying the app, take 2 minutes. I think that's all it'll take. 2 minutes. Leave a 5-star review, and it really does help us a lot.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you guys in that in advance. Plus, we've had a lot of memories over the years. They don't have to hesitate to throw in some inside stuff in those, make them interesting for sure. I enjoy reading those on the DFS podcast all the time. But over on the reviews for Tails, appreciate you guys. Thank you as always for hanging out. Have a great rest of the day. NBA Deeper Dive live before lock coming up later. If you missed Josh's strategy show, highly recommend you check that out each and every morning. He's going to kill it all season long. And we will be posting bets on Tails. That's actually what I'm going to do right now. I'm digging into some NFL now that we do have props coming up, and they're going to go straight up to Tails. If you have notifications on, you'll know when they hit you. I assume Greg's going to have a lot for his bankroll for NBA today on the Bankroll Challenge 12-game slate. So head over there, and we will see you back here for the